at Bihar. Bihar is located in northern India, as you can see in the map. The Handong Global University project was implemented in Nagda Diyarbakir district from 2011 to 2013. Water in Bihar became affected by contaminants such as iron, fluoride, and arsenic, as you can see in this slide. In particular, arsenic is the most problematic contaminant in this region that called for an urgent solution. Our approach for following these images that may appear too graphic, we need to let you see the reality through these pictures, that many people in Bihar are suffering from the arsenic water. The tragic fact is that arsenic causes diarrhea, vomiting, skin damage, as you can witness in the previous slide. Clinically, it is also known that arsenic increases cancer risk in the lung, liver, and kidney. Arsenic contamination can also cause death. So, the BSF project for saving arsenic problem was conducted by Handong Global University students, focused on covering about 2,212 households, which means about 20,000 people. So the BSF project was implemented in 4 stages. In the first stage, the main goal was to conduct an area study with focus on the water quality. Then, in the second stage, the goal was to allow the customization of the BSF model to the local context. In the third stage, the goal is to create a BSF manual for manufacturing. Finally, in the last stage, the goal is to offer a training seminar for indigenous people awareing the sanitation and water quality. Throughout the 4 entire stages, the research team aimed for not only the implementation of the filter, but also enlightening people about sanitation and water quality. Sounds great, isn't it? So as we evaluate and review the successful project, we were able to come up with 10 criteria, as previously suggested by OECD guidelines and other professional articles. Then we narrowed down the criteria to 2 for each view. The view is environmental view, economic view, and social culture view. First, for the environmental view, the 2 criteria ask if the biosand filter technology is eco-friendly and if the capacity of BSF is effective. First of all, as a container of filter, cheap plastic material unfortunately should be used because the lifespan of the filter is only for 2 years. The used material, which means plastic, can be pollutant later. On the other hand, due to a limited budget, the research team was not able to verify the link between the usage of BSF and the reduction of waterborne disease. They just found that it is effective to reduce arsenic in the water. Also, there was difficulty in handling the sand, which is polluted by arsenic after filtration. The arsenic sand might affect the environment without its appropriate disposal. But on a positive note, biosand filter was able to deliver an improvement of water quality. Almost 100% of arsenic and E. coli can be removed by biosand filter. In fact, in one interview, one of the local BSF owners expressed satisfaction with the use of BSF. In the social culture view, the participation of women was relatively minimal. This is an issue because water is more used by women than men, particularly at home. Further, BSF project should encourage ways to increase the participation of women. The project team of Handong Global University offered education seminars for the locals, which means a direction of a BSF project was interviewed that he advised the need for systematic training seminar or program to enhance the efficiency of seminars. For a future project, an internship program should be considered to have a periodic training on BSF implementation with filter management and awareness program water quality. In the implementation of the biosand filter project, Handong University was able to provide a manual of manufacturing the filter, which include illustrations for the illiterate. So it is kind of consists of pictures that illiterate people can understand how to manufacture the filter. This manual was able to in Hindi language too. So in these people who don't know English can also understand the procedure of manufacturing. It is also admirable that Handong was able to implement the project for 3 years. Handong was able to network with the society and universities and local people too. We can move on to economic view. BSF was not provided for free. It cost a lot. Considering that the average salary of those people in Nakta Island is about $33 to $83. But the purchase of BSF is also difficult for the local. As I said before, the pricing set of the BSF is around $13 to $18, almost the same as the expected price of the local, though $10. We cannot verify, however, if the administration, transportation, and labor fee were considered by Handong in pricing the BSF filter model. Overall, the urgent issue in the project is the development of BSF business model. Therefore, we encourage to invite professors and students within the local setting, not in thesis or theories. Another big issue is in fundraising. As of now, the implementation of the BSF project has been stopped because of insufficient funds. For 3 years, the budget was only the startup fund provided by Handong University. So for future BSF projects, fundings from other sources should be considered. If possible, financial support from the local government and the society itself should be requested. So more funding ideas are important to sustain a longer implementation of the BSF project. And then we are move on to conclusion. We are in the final stretch of this presentation. To summarize, from the environmental, social, culture, and economic view, we conclude that the BSF project needs a systematic development process beyond the mere implementation of technology. The team should consider more participants of women, and a business model should be created, improving the efficiency of the BSF partnership with the locals also should be increased. Multiple fundraising sources should also be tapped, and finally, the goal is to allow the BSF project to have an impact beyond the rural areas, beyond the small world of Nakta Island. To achieve this dream and vision, our research team made the offer of a recommendation to UNAI body and participating university and students. First, for this extended UNAI body, please consider providing internship program and incentives for college students who want to participate in this project. Also, please tap the power of network. UNAI should be able to collaborate with the Unitwin network in order to further research and provide training for similar projects. It would also be helpful for UNAI to provide an online source for shareable articles or reports related to the BSF project or even appropriate technology. Another suggestion for participating universities, please consider providing academic credit on students who wants to participating in long-term commitment on this project, because even with the desire to continue the project, they were not able to do so because of their financial setback and their another obligation to their studies. For a more effective implementation for future BSF project, please consider providing academic credits, not only that, but also scholarship or even exchange program. And finally, for participating students, this type of project implemented in developing countries, especially in a closed society, requires a team spirit. It is equally important to be sensitive to local context, to the society, and the culture of the area. So, furthermore, students should have an eagerness to explore cross-disciplinary studies, because in the case of BSF project, there was that cross-disciplinary contains that life science, business, marketing, area studies, and engineering, something like that. It contains a lot of disciplines. So you have waited this long for this last slide. Why biosand filter is important in achieving post-MDGs.
You have just 1 minute left.
Please don't be surprised. BSF can have achieved these 9 goals. As I said before, UN recognized that clean water is the essence of sustainable development. And the BSF project, where the local people can get clean water, is perhaps the best way to achieve the post-MDGs, right? So please invest your time, budget, or your effort, interest even, in future BSF project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finishing your presentation exactly on time. Very systematic and comprehensive presentation was made. And then I would like to invite the main discussant for this presentation, who would be Mr. Kim Hee-sik from Bank of Korea. He is in charge of Senior Research Fellow at the Economic Research Institute of the Bank of Korea.
Thank you for your presentation and passionate work on the ground. You have results from the ground. I appreciate this kind of effort. Is pioneering this field. You know, collegians taking part in the global community by themselves. And I was very much touched in my heart. Our young people is brave enough to go there to the unknown land, unknown foreign land, to help people there. There are people, although use different language and different ethnic difference, but they are the same people. So I highly appreciate your effort and congratulate on your accomplishment thus far. I think this is not the result, the end result. Maybe a very, very good start for a much better result and actual and real change on the ground can be made on this. We build upon this result. So, since I'm an economist, as for the multidisciplinary cooperation, I'd like to make some economic perspective on how to help people in poor countries. it depends very much on the level of their income. So, for example, the optimal price for BSF is currently 10 rupee, but it may be higher if their income is higher. So, in addressing this issue, economic development or ways to help people to increase their own income, we need to think about it. So the best way is not to focus on what they lack or what they are deficient of, rather than focus on what they have and utilize or mobilize the best of the resources they have. In this case, I'm not sure, but they may be basically agricultural people, so the value added can be made from agriculture. So I think there may be some synergy if you think something to do about agriculture and this water, cleaning water project together. Because with increased income, women are better capable of taking care of these things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You don't have to answer question by questions. Maybe I will allow you to respond at the end of your session. So maybe I'd like to open the other panelists to give some remarks on their presentation. Anyone? Peter? Thank you.
My question is similar to the question that I asked the previous panel, and that is, what made you decide to choose a biosand filter, and why should I use this? Why not rainwater collection or desalination? Why is this the method that you recommend?
I'm so sorry. Could you ask, please, again? Could you ask again the one more?
Sure. So I'm very impressed. I was very impressed with your presentation, and this is a technique that I was not very familiar with, so I learned a lot. But I was wondering why you chose biosand filtration as your method for creating drinking water rather than rainwater collection like the previous presentation or desalinization that we mentioned before. Why is this the strategy that you're recommending?
If I'm allowed to have a commentation of that, as a participant of this project, there were a lot of pump which lifts up the groundwater. It contains arsenic already. So then they are drinking arsenic water because water in Bihar usually in Ganges River, it does not contain the arsenic, but groundwater which lifted off by the pump contains arsenic. So they need a filter near the pump. So, and this biosand filter, the material of it can be purchased by the local market. The plastic container is used because they can buy it in the local market. So we don't need to we don't need to make a cement model and send it by airplane or ship or something like that. They just can buy in local material. They use their just income or their just effort because they can get any material beside their home or their market or something like that. And it's easy to make a material. So they need to know how important it is, how important to have a BSF near their pump. So because before our implementing this project, there were a lot of NGO who made a pump. Like every home has a pump, but the pump lifts up the arsenic water. So that is the kind of a previous problem that we found in the area studies. So that is why I guess we started with the BSF model. Yeah, thank you.
Can the device BSF can also be applied to cleanse the rainfalls in the region? Because as far as I understand, the region is one of heavily the having the greatest, the record of rainfalls in the world. So why not just use the river